What's the word, people? It's your boy J Money 89 boy here, and you know what time it is? Top games of 2023. 2023 was a great year for gaming. Honestly, one of the best we've had in a long time. And so this was a really hard list to make, and some of your favorites may or may not be on this list, but they were probably in the honorable mentions. Regardless, feel free to comment your top games of the year below, and yeah, let's just get right into it, my friends. Coming in at number 10, we have Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Now, for those who don't know, the first game was like a shameless Smash clone, and it absolutely fucking sucked. It was clunky, stiff. It didn't even have voice acting in it. How you make a game with no voice acting? They had to add voice acting in an update. That's ridiculous. But this game was so much more better, much more tighter, and definitely didn't feel like a clunky mess. And it was actually so good that it was even like nominated for like one of the best fighting games of the year. That should show you how much they improved over the first game. So Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl gets number 10 spot. Mainly for not giving up, and like most developers would just bitch out and ruin the series rather than trying to improve on it. And you know what? You don't see that a lot in games. They had a nice little single player, all of that good stuff. And honestly, I'm surprised it was this good. So number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have the Dead Space remake. This game was wow. I tell you, this shit was, they were in a bag with this one. I like the original Dead Space, but I never finished it, and I kind of didn't beat this game, but it was such a vast improvement. The controls, the graphics was just like amazing. Like, this is definitely like one of the scariest games of the year, despite being able to, like, body everything. But the story is interesting, and I feel like I'm about halfway through the game, but I enjoyed the time with it, and only reason it's not higher is because I didn't finish the game. But honestly, this game gets its accolades from everybody else, and honestly, I'm not like, I believe everybody. They were in a thing with this one. So Dead Space remake number 9, pick it up. It's on Game Pass. What do you got to lose? Speaking of losing, we have Mortal Kombat 1 at number 8. Now, I don't think Mortal Kombat 1 was a bad fighting game, but I will say this game could have been delayed. It should, if anything, should have released in 2024. It just didn't have that same pull that like previous Mortal Kombat game had on me. Like, it was great, don't get me wrong. It's on this list for a reason because I did have a lot of fun playing this game with friends and stuff. But this game was pretty buggy for a fighting game, and it's a shame to see this from like one of the greatest fighting games of all time. Like, unnecessary glitches like the Omni-Man full screen glitch, player 2 not being able to do the same combos as player 1. And it's like, come on, Mortal Kombat. Y'all been making fighting games for too long to be messing up basic stuff like that. And that's why it's lower on the list than I would want it to be. But when you stack it up against the competition and other fighting games that came out, it was definitely kind of fell foot. But the game was still great. I enjoyed learning and labbing the game. The fatalities and stuff were on point as always. The story was really good, and I am curious to see where the future of Mortal Kombat goes in this new direction because I do like it. But honestly, I really played Mortal Kombat for the story, and I'm just like, at this point, it's like, okay, let's see where it goes from here on out. But I like it. So MK1 number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have Final Fantasy 16. Now, you guys know Final Fantasy 15 back in 2016 or 15, whatever the fuck that came out. I think it was 2016. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. 15 come out in 16. But anyways, it was my game of the year for that year. And I absolutely enjoyed it. Final Fantasy 16, I also enjoyed it, but I kind of got bored with the game like halfway through, and I never finished it. I am trying to finish it before the FF7 Rebirth comes out, but this game, as great as it is combat-wise, and even the story is good, the pacing in this game is just terrible. You get one hype moment and then like 40 boring moments, and it's like, oh my goodness. It was putting me to sleep, and I just couldn't take it anymore, especially when I found out that I still had so much to go. I'm like, I need a break, and then that break turned into playing a whole bunch of other stuff. But for what it is, though, this game was great. The spectacle was amazing. The soundtrack is awesome. The combat is probably the best in any Final Fantasy game. Yeah, I said it. Mind your business. What you gonna do about it? But it just could have did a little bit more. So Final Fantasy 16, number 7. Coming in at number 6, we have the Resident Evil 4 remake. Now, this game This was something. I played the original Resident Evil 4, never finished it. I didn't really like the controls for it. It was just too janky. But the VR version of that game is actually really good, and I like this. So I was like, you know what? I'll try this because I'm like, the controls to the original was just too shitty for me, and I don't see how people like it like that. But this game modernized it, and it was so good. The story was great. The action gameplay was great. It had some pretty tense moments. And even the VR version of this game was just absolutely fire. I haven't played too much of it like I did Resident Evil 8, but the little bit I did play was awesome. This was a great game. If you like Resident Evil, you'll definitely like this game. If you like the classic Resident Evil 4, you'll definitely like this remake. Honestly, I'm curious when we're gonna get Resident Evil 9. I like these remakes, Capcom. You give me a chance to play games that I didn't get to play, but let's get on to the new stuff, man, you know. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake, a great game, well worth the money. I probably play the DLC at some point, but that's another time we'll talk about it. Resident Evil 4, number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have probably the most surprising game of 2023, and that is Hi-Fi Rush. And this game came from Xbox of all time. They just surprised dropped this shit out of nowhere, and this game was really good. I mean, like, the action slash beat 'em up with like focusing on rhythm, so you gotta like time it to the beat of the music. Everything about this game was just absolutely fire. And honestly, if Xbox kept making games like this more often, they would be in a much better spot than they are now console wise. I would love to see a sequel for this game. I bought this game twice. I bought it on my Xbox and my Steam Deck. Like, that's how fucking good this game was to me. Just the anime and art style and the gameplay was just all filled with so much charm. And it reminded me of the days back in the day when video games were more about fun rather than about being, you know, pretty graphics and all of that good stuff. And the best part, this shit is only $30. So like, what more do you want from me? So yeah, Hi-Fi Rush, absolutely amazing game. It gets number 5. Coming in at number 4, the real best fighting game of the year to me is Street Fighter 6. Now, I suck at Street Fighter. I'm not gonna cap. I'm absolutely terrible. But this Street Fighter game, I probably did the best I've ever did in online matches. It really taught me like the fundamentals and all of that stuff. I'm a Chun-Li main, so you're gonna get kicked in your fucking neck you play against me. But honestly, this game just has so much content. The net code in this game was probably I've rarely lagged. I probably lagged like maybe 3 times, and I've been playing this game since launch. And like, the netcode is just so smooth, graphics, character models, all of that good stuff. I haven't bought the season pass yet. I'm kind of waiting for more characters to come out so I can get it all at once rather than just waiting. But just the combat was tight. It's easy to pick up with the modern controls. It really helps people like me who like suck at doing all those complex ass inputs. I could do a quarter circle, half circle, all that shit. But when you start making me turn my analog stick into a fucking pretzel, it's like, hold on, nigga, you kind of doing too much. But amazing game. Just buy Street Fighter. Coming in at number 3 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I feel like a lot of people forgot this game came out, but because it came out so early in the year, and this year was just stacked as hell. But also, this game was pretty buggy for a lot of people. I played this on PS5, and outside of some frame drops, I never crashed or had any problems with this game, so I loved it. And this game was the sequel to the first game that I wanted it to be. It improved everything. Cal has like different lightsaber stances. So he has like 2 lightsabers or like a heavy saber blaster stance. All of that good stuff. The story was great. Combat, parkour, force abilities, all of that. Is it Force Unleashed? No, it's not Force Unleashed. It's not that over the top. But it is a great Star Wars game where you get play with a Jedi and you get to fuck some shit up. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything more than that. I can't wait to see where Respawn goes with the next game in the series. I hope it's good. So far they 2 for 2 in this one, so let's go ahead and bring it on home. Jedi Survivor, number 3. Coming in at number 2, this was a game that was really hard for me to pick between this and number 1, mainly because this game answered a lot of my fucking questions for a mech game, and that's Armored Core 6. This game was so freaking cool, man. And yeah, it's made by the same people who made Dark Souls, so expect a little challenge. But I'll be honest, this game was not as hard as like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Honestly, there's only like one boss that I really struggled with, and that was like the fake-ass Millennia boss. But everything else was like pretty simple, and it's maybe because I played a lot of experience on like Gundam Versus, which is kind of controls similar, but like, so I have experience with dodging projectiles, but like being able to build your own robot, all these epic battles. If you lose, you can literally rebuild your robot and try again. And it was just like the perfect mech game. I just wanted to be in a big robot and shoot some other big robots. And this game gave me exactly that with a decent story and just all customization. Like, perfect game. Number two. Coming in at number one, you all know what it is. It's Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, the narrative on this game has changed a bit since it came out. When the game came out, everybody was glazing and saying it's the best thing ever. Now they acting like it's the worst thing. But honestly, I've always enjoyed the game from the jump. Gameplay was cool. The story could have been a little, Venom left a little bit to be desired, but overall, I think I still had a great time with the game. The traversal system was amazing. I didn't think they could improve that much on the first game, but they did. Thought the combat was great. And this game had my full undivided attention from beginning to end. And honestly, me being biased as a Spider-Man fan, it was going to always be my game of the year. But anyways, thanks for watching Spider-Man 2, my game of the year.
Gonna be alright. And when I wake up, I recognize